So since we don't have a chair, we would need a motion from someone to appoint a chair pro tem for tonight.
I move to appoint Commissioner Abali, Chairman Pro Tem for this evening's meeting.
Second.
Thank you. So we have a motion to appoint Chair, Commissioner Abouali as the Chair Pro Tem for tonight. Commissioner Rubel,
Yes. Here?
Commissioner Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Gaska,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
and Commissioner Abouali.
Abstain.
Thank you. So the motion passes, so we have the Chair Pro Tem for the night.
Thank you very much. I will now call this meeting to order. This is the regular scheduled February 2nd, 2026 meeting for the Planning and Zoning Commission for the City of Elgin. So we will start by calling roll.
Thank you, Chair Pro Tem. We'll start with Commissioner Gaska.
Here.
Commissioner Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Olson,
Present.
Commissioner Vrubel,
Present.
and Chair Pro Tem Abouali.
Yes, present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, first item up is approval of the minutes from the January 5th, 2026 meeting. Do we have any questions, comments, additions, changes, or a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
A second.
Thank you. Commissioner Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Vrubel,
Yes.
Commissioner Gaska,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
and Chair Pro Tem Abouali.
Yes.
The motion is approved, the minutes approved.
Okay, thank you. Good evening again. I'm Nancy Abwali. I'm the chairman for tonight's meeting, chairperson. And tonight, we will be hearing petitions on map amendment to plan development and conditional use for 601 South Randall, petition 44-25 and 45-25. 7 Clock Tower Plaza, petition 3525 and 5025. Also a plan development as a map amendment for 850 North Grove, petition 32-25. And finally, a text amendment, petition 01-26. Before we move into the agenda, I want to briefly discuss the role of this commission and procedures for tonight's meeting. So as a reminder, the Planning and Zoning Commission is an advisory and recommending body to the City Council. So the job of the commission is to review development proposals and determine whether the proposal meets the applicable standards for review. So the process is we'll first hear from our city staff, followed by questions and comments from the commission for staff. And then we're going to invite the applicant to provide a brief overview of their proposal. And the commission can also ask questions to the applicant. After that is when we're going to open it up to public for questions, comments. And during public comment, the way to proceed is please come forward. You're going to state your name clearly, spell it, and give your address. And public comments should be addressed to us, the commissioners, who will keep notes on any questions, concerns raised, and then city staff and the applicant will have the opportunity to address those questions. In the interest and respect of everybody's time, we ask that the people testifying do not reiterate points or questions that have already been made. Then the commission will deliberate, vote, and pass its recommendation on to City Council. So at this time, if you expect to talk during public comment or at any time tonight, we are going to ask you to stand and take the oath from the court reporter. So please stand in your spots and
You all raise your right hands, please. Do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
thank you. We will pass it on to staff for our first petition.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Okay, so we got 4 petitions tonight. The first one, and we do have proof that we provided the required notices on this one, just for the record. So this first petition before you is the application by New Future LLC as the applicant and property owner who's requesting approval of an amendment to PAB Planned Area Business District Ordinance G4207 as amended by ordinance number G4911 with any departures from the Elgin Municipal Code, and a conditional use to establish an event venue, more specifically a banquet hall, as part of an eating place at the property commonly referred to as 601 South Randall Road. As usual, we will start with our site location. The subject property outlined here in yellow on the slide. This is a 2.7 acre property that is located on the east side of Randall Road, just north of Spartan Drive intersection. This property is part of Blaine's Farm and Fleet Shopping Center, which Blaine's was Lowe's formerly and was built as Lowe's. And this whole shopping center was originally approved as the Spartan Green subdivision. The subject property is improved with a 11,426 square foot restaurant building that was the former Golden Corral, which actually closed in fall of 2025. And the property also includes 166 parking spaces. As you can see, to the north is a vacant property that has the same red shade over it. That means it's got the same zoning classification, PAB, Planned Area Business District. To the east is the PCF zoned open space that is part of the Elgin Community College. To the south is the Bank of America Outlot, zone PAB, Planned Area Business District, as well as some townhomes that are zoned PRC, Planned Residence Conservation, outlined or colored yellow. And then to the west across Randall Road are single-family homes, also zoned RC1, Residence Conservation District. Here's a bird's eye view of the subject property looking north. So as you can see, all the properties that are part of the shopping center are interconnected and they share access. There's one direct access off of Randall Road, which is an ingress only. It's on the subject property. But the main access drive to the shopping center is on the south end, sort of in front of Blaine's Farm and Fleet, that provides access to Spartan Drive, which has a right-in, right-out intersection with Randall Road. The main access drive continues south, becomes Duffy Drive, and then has an intersection with College Green Drive, which has a full signalized intersection with Randall Road. So the applicant and the owner of the property, who also operated formerly the Golden Corral restaurant, is requesting zoning approval to establish an event space, more specifically a banquet hall, as part of a new restaurant on the subject property. They're planning to rebrand the restaurant as an Indian fusion restaurant, and it would have two banquet halls. Approximately 7,532 square feet would remain as the restaurant on the right side of the screen. And then the western portion of the building, approximately 3,634 square feet, would be divided into two banquet halls. The larger one would be able to seat up to 200 persons, and the smaller one on the top up to 44 persons. The two banquet halls would be able to be combined into one larger event space that can have seating up to 244 persons. So the facility, the banquet halls, would be able to be rented out to private parties for various types of events, such as weddings, birthday parties, and other types of celebrations. The restaurant, or the hours of operation for the restaurant, would be daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then the events would be organized between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m., but mostly on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. The facility anticipates having up to 32 employees. Of that, approximately 10 would be devoted to the operations of the banquet hall. The applicant is proposing substantial interior renovation to the space for the rebranding, but is also looking to do some exterior changes to the building, primarily to the facade elements. The two dormers that are on both sides of the main gable would also be enlarged to become sort of one dormer on each side. The applicant is not proposing any changes to the site. The property will continue to have 166 parking spaces. Now, with that, number of parking spaces is the only departure requested for this. So the proposed banquet hall is required to have 197 parking spaces. That's based on the total area of the restaurant space, as well as the number of chairs within the banquet hall. And as I mentioned, there's only 166 parking spaces on site. However, as you can see, the shopping center has abundant parking, and although there is no shared parking agreement, the applicant has come to terms, a verbal agreement with the owners of the property to the south, and they're looking to finalize that agreement prior to the issuance of the certificate of occupancy. The requested, the application is required to meet the standards for map amendments, as well as those for plan developments and those for conditional use. We have provided our overview of the standards in the packet, and we do believe that all applicable standards are satisfied. And with that, staff recommends approval, subject to the conditions outlined in the packet. And I'm happy to answer any questions. The applicant's team is here as well, can address the commission.
Okay, I'll start to my left. Commissioner Jones, do you have any questions for staff?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Olson?
One question. Do you know why there was never an egress built on Randall Road there?
Probably Kane County prohibited that. So Kane County Department of Transportation has Randall Road under their jurisdiction. There's a curve in Randall Road just to the north. We would prevent full access to that. So
Gotcha. Thank you. No other question.
you're welcome.
Commissioner Vrubel, any questions?
No questions.
And Commissioner Gaska?
No questions.
I don't have any questions. Thank you for your thoroughness. We will invite the applicant up now.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Commission. My name is Silpa Yadla, and I'm here today representing the property at 601 South Randall Road. Thank you for your time and opportunity to present our proposal.
Can you just spell your name and give your address, please?
Sure. First name is Silpa, S-I-L-P-A. Last name is Yadla, Y-A-D-L-A. And my home address, or business, or this address, or 601 South Randall Road.
Thank you.
The subject property is a former Golden Corral restaurant that was originally approved for a higher intensity use. Our proposed restaurant and banquet concept has been intentionally designed to operate within the existing constraints of the site and zoning framework. The banquet component will operate as a scheduled reservation-based use with defined event times and controlled capacity. Events will be professionally managed with on-site staff, and operations will conclude with established hours. The space is intended for private functions such as celebrations and corporate events, and not for open-ended or entertainment-driven uses. We are committed to continue work with the city staff as the project moves forward and to comply with all applicable requirements and conditions of approval. Our goal is to activate an underutilized commercial space with a well-run, high-quality establishment that contributes positively to the area while being a responsible neighbor. We respectfully request your favorable consideration of our application and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I think we're ready for questions then. Let's start with Commissioner Olson.
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Gaska,
No questions.
Commissioner Jones.
No questions, but I appreciate your willingness and thoughtfulness to repurpose the existing business. Thank you.
And Commissioner Vrubel.
Just have one question. So you formerly, if I read right, owned Golden Corral?
That's correct.
Was it ever at capacity, do you know?
Early on, I think it's 18 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So in the early years, yes, we did run full capacity, yeah. We
Okay,
just never recovered after COVID. Yeah.
Sure, I understand that. Reason I was asking is because of the traffic And, I just wanted to see if it could handle it then. I'm sure it's going to handle it now. And I just wanted to thank you for investing in Elgin.
Thank you. Thanks.
No more questions.
I don't have any questions. Thank you for presenting.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, at this time, we are going to open it up to the public. We don't have anybody signed up, but if anybody would like to discuss this petition, have any comments or questions, you can feel free to do that now. Going once, going twice. All right. We are going to close public comment and send it over back to staff for any final comments.
Nothing further to add. Staff recommends approval, subject to the conditions in the packet.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
I move to recommend that City Council approve petitions 44-25 and 45-25, subject to the conditions outlined within our packet, and to adopt as the findings of the commission those findings also provided within our packet.
Second?
Okay, staff, please call the roll.
Commissioner Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rubel,
Yes.
Commissioner Gaska,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
and Chair Pro Tem Abwali.
Yes.
The motion is approved, 5-0.
Thank you. Staff will follow up with you. You can follow up with them for next steps. Okay, we're going to move on to our next petition.
Okay, moving right along. So the second petition before you tonight, and again, we've provided the required notices on this one as well. So this is an application by Antunes Group doing business as Casalara as applicant, and Paul and Carol Butera as property owners. We're requesting approval and amendment to the PCC2 Planned Center City District established by ordinance number G1202 as amended by ordinance G1024 with any departures from the Elgin Municipal Code requirements, and a conditional use to establish an entertainment venue as part of an existing eating place, which is a restaurant, at the property commonly referred to as 7 Clock Tower Plaza. And again, we'll start with the general location of the subject property. So this is a 6,108 square foot commercial tenant space, part of a larger shopping center. This is part of Clock Tower Shopping Center that is, as you can see, on the south side of National Street, just east of the Fox River. This tenant space happens to be exactly adjacent to the Butera grocery store, which anchors the shopping center. The entire shopping center is approximately 122,000 square feet. It includes multiple buildings and multiple tenants. And some of the tenants currently include Dunkin', Subway, and Buffalo Wild Wings restaurants, as well as the Butera grocery store, and then the Family Dollar retail store, among others. As you can see, the property to the north is the Grand Victoria Casino, which is owned PCC, Planned Center City District. To the west is obviously the Fox River and the Fox River Trail. Adjacent to that, to the east is a vacant railroad right-of-way. And then beyond that are single-family and multifamily residences, which are zoned RC3s and MFR. And then to the south is the River's Landing, a multifamily apartment complex that is zoned MFR, Multifamily Residence District. Here is a bird's eye view of the shopping center. So the applicant is seeking zoning approval to establish an entertainment venue to primarily host concerts and live entertainment as part of the existing restaurant on site, Casalara. The restaurant was established in 2014 as a restaurant and bar, and over the years, they've started hosting live performances. Live performances are permitted as part of any restaurant in the city, specifically as an accessory use. In such circumstance, no more than 10% of the floor area of a restaurant is allowed as live performance or musical act. The applicant is seeking approval to not have that restriction of 10%. They're proposing to host live entertainment on Friday and Saturday nights, starting at 9 p.m. until 2 a.m. And they do plan to continue to serve food throughout the live performances as well. The restaurant is open on Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then on Friday and Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 2 a.m. This is the floor plan of the restaurant and the entertainment venue. The maximum capacity would be 274 persons. That would include, they have up to 10 employees, and then up to 5 live performers are expected of any live act. And then up to 4 security personnel, depending on the live performance. The entertainment venue is required to provide parking based on the maximum capacity. Because the space is going to continue to operate as a restaurant, that parking requirement for the restaurant is actually larger than for the entertainment venue. So overall, the parking requirement for this space would not increase. The restaurant is required to have 102 parking spaces, and as an entertainment venue, the facility would be required 83 parking spaces. So with that, the entire shopping center has 584 parking spaces, which are shared amongst all tenants. And the parking lot is rarely even half full, so it's got abundant parking. But most importantly, when these events are held after 9 p.m., most other tenants within the shopping center are closed, so the facility would have almost the entire parking lot available for their use. The applicant is proposing some interior modifications, primarily to the electrical upgrades, to accommodate the equipment that's needed for the entertainment venue. They will be required to pull a building permit for that electrical work should the zoning application be approved. The application is required to meet the standards for map amendments, applications for plan developments, and then also the standards for conditional use. We have provided our overview of the standards in the packet. We believe that all applicable standards are satisfied, and therefore staff recommends approval subject to the conditions in the packet. And I believe all those are fairly standard conditions that are usually applied to all banquet halls, or entertainment venues, I should say. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is here as well.
Thank you. Let's start with Commissioner Rubel. Any questions?
Okay, so I have a question about the hours of operation. Because I read in the packet that it goes till 2 a.m. It says like it's late evening hours, but actually that's like, late evening is midnight till midnight. So we're heading into like,
The next day. Mhm.
yeah, early morning hours. So how does that,
Well, usually we don't regulate hours of operations. They provide them for conditional use applications so that we can evaluate if there's any potential impact on the surrounding businesses. This being part of a commercial strip mall, shopping center, we haven't had any concerns about it. We reached out to the police department. They haven't had any calls for service based on the hours of operation. So as is the case for these musical venues, they usually run late, sometimes until midnight, sometimes a little later. And they could probably answer that question. They probably end at different times depending on
Okay.
how they go. But so we don't have any concerns with that.
okay, so there have been events
That is-
till that hour?
If it
without?
went all the way until 2 a.m., I'm not sure, but maybe the applicant can answer that. But they've certainly held some events at the
Okay.
facility.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Jones.
I just wanted to ask, so the property there is, I know that's all one parcel of property there that it goes. As far as, we did receive a letter about issues in that parking lot and area. Is there anything on the city's end that can be done to assist in there? I do frequent that parking lot for several of the businesses down there, and it can be a little rough around the edges.
In terms of the
Panhandling, solicitations, propositions, those kind of things.
Sure.
And I don't know that that's something that a business owner necessarily, because these are other community members in the property. So I don't know if that's a business thing, a police thing. I mean, I guess I'm asking, where does that fall?
Well, it does not fall with this business, so it would not be part of this zoning application and our review. The correspondence that we've received from one of the other tenants did not specify any sort of challenges in the parking lot. If there are such circumstances, then they're probably very similar to the rest of the area, and so they're not attributed to this particular application, so.
Oh, no, yeah, no, not related to
Yeah,
this,
and
but
so,
just in
so
general.
it is a policing matter that I'm probably not the right person to comment on, but I'm sure they are aware of the circumstances if it's out there in the community, so
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Commissioner Goska, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, and Commissioner Olson?
No questions.
And I do not have any questions for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will now invite the applicant or applicants to come up and tell us a little bit about this. Please make sure to state your name, spell it, and address.
Good evening. My name is Christian Antunes. It's spelled C. You need the first or the last name? Antunez.
My name is Francisco Paladinas. I'm working as our architect on this project, on any interior renovations that they're planning on doing. I prepared the drawing for it as an existing as-built, as we have up there. I've known the business owner for probably 4 months now, and they're doing what they can to stay above water as far as the business is concerned. They were hit pretty hard by COVID, from what I understand, and the venues are very helpful in the business sense that they were able to keep their head above water and keep the doors open. Their food is really delicious. I've tried it, and I would recommend it to anybody here. And from my understanding is that they're following the good faith effort of the city of Elgin to do what they can to comply with whatever it is that they need to do to maintain this venue open. Okay, so that's all I have.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything I want to add. Any questions for us?
Okay, any questions or comments from the commission? Let's start with Commissioner Jones.
So circling back to the parking lot down there, I know I'm not at all implying that it's related to your business at all. It's just that parking lot in general. Is it an issue for you or a non-issue?
Usually we ask the vagrants to move further down. Our security personnel, we don't let them panhandle it for any customers while we're operating. So we try to do our best, you know.
Okay, and I don't know if you saw the memo that was sent in, the note that was sent in from one of the other properties.
I did.
Just looking, maybe you could reach out and
Absolutely, try to
make
some
an attempt
contact.
to
Absolutely.
amend some things there, but I think it's a great, I look forward to having late night entertainment in downtown.
Thank you
Elgin
very
again.
much.
Yeah, it's nice, thank you.
Commissioner Olson?
No questions. Glad you guys made it through the pandemic and looking forward to seeing entertainment at your business. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Goska?
I have no questions.
And Commissioner Rubel?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you have had events there?
Correct.
And how, like, have you been to capacity?
No, we've never been to capacity. No,
And
we've never put
have
more
you-
than 270.
Have you held events to the magnitude that you're proposing here, 3 to 5 performers?
Yes, we have.
You have.
Yes.
No problems?
No
with that?
problems whatsoever.
Is that like is this going to be like a regular occurrence or
We intend to operate Friday and Saturday.
with that many performers?
No, it's usually 1 or 2 bands, so it's not 3 to 4, like 3 or 4 performers. Like it's
Okay.
usually 1 or 2, and we usually end around 1:30. We give people time to clear out because we don't want to go past 2. And the reason we open that late is because the liquor license lets us operate till that time.
Okay. But I did understand in the packet that it said that you would have to get a different
I think it's,
liquor license.
that's what the city have asked of us, and, we're just trying to follow the correct procedure.
Now, in that, I don't know if this is staff or you, or Liquor Commission.
Right.
What, if you get the different liquor license, like, what will that allow past what you're doing now?
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that.
Sorry, it just came up, so
Okay.
No,
I'm sorry about that.
that'll be at the sole discretion of the Liquor Commission.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I did research this a little. And you mentioned 2 to 4 security personnel.
Correct.
The standard is 1 security person per 30 attendees.
Okay.
So that would put you at 9 security if you're at capacity.
Okay.
So
So I
if-
understand. Well, if we have more than, 100 people, then we obviously would need 3 security guards.
And then so I understand you're going to be asking like a cover charge.
Correct.
Do you know what that is? Yeah.
It varies, depending on the musical entertainment. We usually try to provide, them a fair amount of payment for their services. So, if it's more known, then you have to charge a little bit more in order to cover their overhead. Sometimes it's free, for
Okay.
benefits. We've
Oh,
done
sure.
several, beneficiary events. So,
Okay.
yeah, where people donate their time.
Okay, and then, bear with me. So how, with your security, I mean, because I mean, I get it. If you're going to have 5 performers and you're going to have a bigger, for lack of a better word, way of saying it, liquor license, so how are you going to
We usually have.
control that and not have like loitering in the parking lot? How do you plan on policing that yourself?
Well, we usually have 2 security guards, from 9 a.m. depending, and then obviously if they have more people, they call their security company, a licensed security company, to come and provide more staff. So, and our security guards usually take a lap around our parking lot, during the nights to not have vagrants break into cars or anything like that. So that's what we've been trying to do.
And then so like, let's just say you're filled to capacity and you have 5 performers and it's hot, it's summertime and it's 100 degrees out. And are you going to be opening the doors?
Yes, absolutely. And the place has air conditioning.
But I mean, my concern is that you contain, because you have residents to the east of you directly and you have them to the south of you.
Yeah, well, you mean contain the noise?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Like the doors would be closed or kept?
Well, we usually keeps our doors closed unless, like you said, it's overwhelming hot, which can happen because there's a lot of bodies and plus they're physical activity,
Right.
they're dancing.
High energy.
Exactly. So, but we haven't had any noise complaints from our neighbors while we have had, these type of events.
Okay, so you've not experienced that during summer with the doors open?
No complaints. Sorry, that's my mother too. She's
Okay. Nice to meet you. Okay. All right, and then, so how do you plan to monitor your capacity? Are you just gonna
Oh, we have wristbands.
okay.
Yeah, we have wristbands. So every patron that goes in gets a wristband. That's how we know. And when the fire department comes by, what number we can give them. Like I said, they've been by multiple times. Even the Elgin Police Department stops by for food every other weekend. So we haven't had any capacity issues. But
Okay.
we do know the number to keep that contained.
Okay. Okay. No more questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I got everybody? Okay, any other questions or comments from the commission? I don't have questions, but I bet the full capacity issue is something that you're looking forward to solving.
Absolutely. Yes.
If that is all from the applicant, you guys can sit down.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
And this is the time that we are going to go ahead and open up to public comment. I do have someone signed up. Looks like a Cassandra Figueroa. You can come up to give your comments. If you haven't already sworn an oath, then please start with that. And then give, right up here is good, yeah. And then say your name, spell it, and your address, please. Would you like, have you given your oath? Not just.
Yes, I stood
Okay.
up as well.
All right.
My name is Cassandra Marie Fraguedo. That's spelled CASSANDRAMARIEFRAGUEIRO. I live in 2 Times Square in the River Landings apartment, Building 2, apartment 317. So yes, hello, my name is Cassandra Marie Fraguedo. I live in one of the apartment buildings right behind Casa Lara. I feel so strongly about this proposal that I'm here present, even though I was a victim of a hit and run last week. I've had planned to speak as soon as I received the notice in the mail. I moved into River Landings Apartments almost 2 years ago. Since then, my understanding of what Casa Lara is or what it was supposed to be has been misleading and confusing. Walking past, the blinds are almost perpetually closed despite being described as a restaurant, and at times there is a taco cart outside of the entrance during warmer months. Reading Google reviews and the photos patrons have submitted that showcases the information that was included in the letter I received. The owners were already using the restaurant as an entertainment venue, and I have seen images posted as a part of the Google images that seems to showcase safety issues, which may corroborate with any electrical renovations that were needed that were in the proposal. I saw this months ago when I was looking for a place to dine that was very close to home. Between the buildings in my apartment complex, there is a playground, and during the summer months, it's often full of children. I often see kids and teens heading into Family Dollar or at the Michoacana establishment right next to it. I don't trust that they will employ adequate security during these events that they will now be holding openly. I feel that the safety of our nearby establishments and households will not be taken into consideration by the owners of Casa Lara, and I believe that the previous decisions that were made to not openly host entertainment in the proper way in the city of Elgin is a clear indication of character. That's all.
Okay, do we have anyone else that would like to come up and give public comment? Now is your chance. Then we will go ahead and close public comment. And at this point, we're going to pass it back on to staff
Back
for
to
final
staff.
comment.
Nothing further to add. We've provided our overview of the applicable standards for approval in the staff report. We do believe that all standards for approval have been satisfied, and therefore staff recommends approval, subject to the conditions outlined in the packet.
Do we have a motion?
I move to recommend the city council approve petition 35-25 and 50-25, subject to the conditions outlined within the staff report, and to adopt as the findings of the commission the documents and conditions provided within such staff report.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Staff, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Gaska?
Yes.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Vrubel?
No.
And Chair Pro Tem Abwali?
Yes.
The motion is approved 4-1.
Okay, thank you, and please follow up with the city staff for next steps. Moving right along, let's get to our third petition.
Thank you, Chair Pro Tem Abu Ali. So the last petition, and again, we have provided the required notices on this one as well. So this is the application by School District U46 as the applicant and property owner who is requesting approval of a plan development as a map amendment from PGI Plan General Industrial District. It was established by Ordinance G5199 to PCF Planned Community Facility District with departures from the Elgin Municipal Code requirements to demolish the existing light industrial building and construct a new approximately 88,500 square foot building with accessory parking and outdoor open space areas for a new School District U46 elementary school, all of the property commonly known as 850 North Grove Avenue. Again, we'll start the general location of the subject property. Again, property outlined in yellow. As you can see, this is about a 9-acre property that is on the west side of North Grove Avenue between Slade on the north and Lincoln Avenue on the south. Now let me see if I can use the pointer. So Slade Avenue on the north side of the property, and then east of Grove Avenue, Slade is kind of offset and dead ends into the property, and then Lincoln Avenue on the south. The property is improved with a former D.C. Cook Publishing House manufacturing and printing plant that's about 145,000 square feet in floor area. All the properties on the north, east, and south that are shaded in yellow are Zone RC2 or RC3 Residence Conservation District, and those are improved with single-family homes. And then to the west, as you can see, is the Fox River Bike Trail, some open space, and then a few single-family homes, all of which are Zone CF Community Facility District. The D.C. Cook Publishing House was first established on this property back in 1901, and it also included a front building seen here on the top. That was their sort of office building that's about 30,000 square feet. And then the back building, which is the light industrial building on the bottom of the screen, that still stands. This building was added on to over the years. The most recent addition was in about 2000 when an addition of 45,000 square feet was added on the south end of the building. This was the addition that was approved by ordinance in 1999. The company produced non-denominational Sunday school literature, and at one time was the largest company that did so in the world. The front building was demolished in 2021. Company relocated its headquarters to Colorado Springs back in 1994, but continued some operations on the property until recently. The school district has acquired the property back in 2024, and I understand the property is currently vacant. So, U46 is requesting the zoning approval to demolish the existing building and construct a new elementary school on site. So this is the site layout for the proposed school. The north is on the right, Grove Avenue is on the bottom. This new elementary school would replace the existing McKinley Elementary School that's 4 blocks to the east at 258 Lowell Street. This new school would be approximately 88,000 square feet in area. It's a 2-story building that, as you can see, is generally situated in the center of the site. The building would be constructed and designed for up to 680 students. However, they expect to open up with attendance of about 450 students. They expect to open in 2028 should this zoning application be approved. It's worth noting that the McKinley Elementary School currently has 324 students. The school start and dismissal time would not change. The school starts at 8:20 a.m. and dismissal time is at 2:40 p.m. The exterior of the building would feature a sawtooth roof design that resembles the existing light industrial building on site. And it would also be used for future installation of solar panels on the roof. The exterior of the building would be primarily brick masonry and sort of modern contemporary design that generally matches other new schools in the district. The main entrance to the building is on the north end facing Grove Avenue. That's generally right here. This is the proposed landscape plan, shows 2 parking lots. One would be on the north end and then one on the southeast side of the building. The 2 parking lots have a total of 101 parking spaces. The school anticipates having up to 50 staff members at full capacity. As you can see, the outdoor play fields are west and southwest on the site that are generally separated from the vehicular traffic and then the school bus traffic. The main entrance to the site, the vehicular entrance, would be for the north parking lot. This is lined up and serves as the extension of Slade Avenue that dead ends into the property. And then there's a second driveway on Grove Avenue that's just to the south. This would be the ingress-only entrance driveway for school buses to line up, as well as staff members to use the southeast parking lot. This school bus lane exits onto Lincoln Avenue. This is the exit-only lane that's also used for this parking lot southeast of the building. The property has a substantial change in topography in the grade. The east end of the property is about 34 feet higher than the southwestern portion of the property. So the applicant will be installing substantial retaining walls, which are indicated here in red. Actually, the retaining wall kind of wraps around the whole building, but it's much smaller as you move east away from the west property line, so on the north side, and then here as you get closer to Grove Avenue. But this retaining wall would obviously contain the soil and level the field. It would also have a 5-foot-high ornamental fence all along this retaining wall, all along. And the area outlined in red would include 15-foot netting on top of the 15-foot ornamental fence. The applicant is proposing extensive landscaping throughout the site that would include 81 new trees. That includes new shade trees, street trees along Slade on the top, some infill new trees along Grove Avenue, and then additional trees along Lincoln Avenue. The plan indicates they were planning to save 4 existing mature trees. However, apparently one of those was recently damaged and fallen. So 3 trees would be saved. These trees they're substantial trees. They range from 30 inches to 44 inches in diameter. Now, traffic and parking. So the applicant has submitted a traffic study for the project that was conducted by a third party, and I think they're going to be able to answer questions a little bit better, but I'll try to summarize as best I can. So the study provides an overview of the parking situation and then the general traffic impact of the school on the neighborhood. First, in regards to parking, the proposed the 2 parking lots with 101 parking spaces will satisfy the parking requirement of the school. The school parking requirement is based on the largest assembly space within the building, which would be able to contain 454 seats, and then they expect to have 50 employees. With that, the school is required to have 95 parking spaces, and they are proposing 101, so they will satisfy that. Now, the traffic impact study was generally based on the observations at the McKinley Elementary School, particularly during the morning drop-off and afternoon pickup times. In summary, the study states that the school's layout will be able to accommodate anticipated drop-off and pickup traffic and school bus traffic on site with minimal impact to the adjacent roadways. It's worth noting that obviously the morning drop-off and afternoon pickup are usually about 20 minutes before the start time and about 20 minutes around the dismissal time in the afternoon. So the traffic consultant observed the general traffic configuration during the pickup and drop-off times at McKinley Elementary School. They've noted that the pickup time is generates more vehicles during that time, more so than the morning drop-off. They've looked at cars that are waiting in queue to pick up students, as well as those that are parked and waiting for students to come out. They've then determined the number of vehicles per student and then extrapolated that number for the proposed school based on the maximum capacity. Again, the school is not anticipated to reach the full capacity when they open up, but nonetheless, the traffic study assumes when the school is at full capacity. Currently at McKinley School, there is 39 vehicles in queue between those that are waiting and then those that are parked and waiting for the students. And then at New School, the study anticipates that up to 66 vehicles would be waiting in queue between those that are in line as well as those that are parked waiting for students to come out. The north parking lot includes a drop-off and pickup lane for parents and guardians to kind of go counterclockwise and drop off or pick up students, and that line on the outer ring of the parking lot can accommodate about 35 vehicles. The study also anticipates that at least 12 parking spaces within the parking lot would be available for those parents and guardians that want to park and wait for their kids to come out or to get out of the vehicle and then get the children. And then additional 22 vehicles can queue up internal to the parking lot between the two drive aisles. Overall, that's a total of 69 vehicles that can queue up on site, and that obviously exceeds the anticipated 66 vehicles that are anticipated at max full capacity. As I mentioned, at open, the school is anticipating 450 students. Using the same math, that would lead to approximately 43 vehicles that would be lined up in queue and those that are parked. It's also worth noting that there will be only 50 employees for the school, and there's 101 parking spaces proposed, so there should be more than 12 parking spaces for any parents or guardians that wish to park and wait for their children. So overall, that site design can adequately accommodate all necessary vehicular traffic for the parents and guardians during the morning drop-off and the afternoon pickup. And then the school buses would be lining up away from the north parking lot. This would be a school drop-off lane only. It's designed to accommodate up to 8 school buses, which would meet the needs of the school. The applicant will also implement the traffic management plan. This diagram illustrates they will have staff members stationed in the north parking lot to manage the internal queue, the spacing between the cars, and just to make sure that the line keeps moving. They will also have crossing guards, obviously, at the main entrance here, and then the one at Grove, at the intersection of Grove and Lincoln. This plan indicates they plan to stripe high visibility crosswalks on all legs of this intersection of Lincoln and Grove, as well as the intersection of Slade and Grove at the entrance into the north parking lot. One more crosswalk will be painted on the west leg of Slade Avenue, just north of the site. The proposal does require 3 departures from the standard site design requirements. The layout of the parking lot is such that the southeast parking lot is about 2.8 feet from the south property line, and then the north parking lot is about 5 feet from the north property line. Minimum vehicle use area street yard setback, as you can see, is 13 feet. Normally, within the street yards, so an area between a building and a street, which is a street yard, we do not allow fences that are taller than 4 feet. In this case, they're proposing 5-foot-high fences along that retaining wall or on top of the retaining wall, plus the 15-foot netting that are along the south and west property lines. And then the proposed school would have the same type of monument graphic that was recently installed at the other middle and elementary schools. That sign exceeds the overall sign surface area For this area, a 40 square foot sign is allowed. They're proposing a 99 square foot sign. They are not proposing an electronic message center at this time. However, this approval would allow them to have one to match the other monument signs at the other schools. The application is required to meet the standards for map amendments, plan developments, and we have provided our overview of the standards in the packet. Staff recommends approval, subject to the conditions in the packet. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. Obviously, the U46 team and design team are here, and they can answer your questions as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Olson, any questions for staff?
No questions. I know big developments like this are a lot for you guys, so thank you for the thorough presentation.
Sure, thank you.
Commissioner Gasca?
I have no questions.
Commissioner Vrubel?
Yeah, can we just go over the fence again? So is it like a retaining wall and then a fence on top of that?
That's correct. So
then
there's a
an-
big grade change on the property that necessitates these retaining walls. So I think I calculated, although the grading plans are preliminary, I think these retaining walls at the southwest corner will be about 15 to 17 feet high. And then there's a 5-foot fence on top of that. And because this is a playground area, it would have 15-foot netting on top of that. So that's where it's outlined in red. And then the blue is just a 5-foot ornamental fence on top of the retaining wall.
So how tall is the retaining wall?
Well, it depends. So
Oh.
at the tallest point in the southwest corner, it's about 15 to 17 feet high. And then as you progress to the east, then the retaining wall is shorter and shorter.
Got it. Well, but you mean like total 15, right?
No.
Oh.
So just the retaining wall is about, like I said, 15 to 17 feet, and then plus the fence on top of it, and then the netting on top of that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Jones?
For the change in traffic in the neighborhood, I am not familiar with those streets and how it looks on a daily basis. Will the city be implementing any no parking sections? Will they be revising the parking allowed in the neighborhood right now? I know they've had to make changes like around Elgin High School and some of those places, but will you guys be doing anything proactively for the neighborhood residents?
At this point, nothing is planned because the site is designed such that it should accommodate everything on premises. Currently, there's no parking allowed along Grove Avenue. And then on Slade and Lincoln, there are no parking restrictions, so parking is allowed. But at this point, we don't anticipate any challenges, so there's no changes to the parking restrictions.
And it looks like with this self-contained, everything is going to be coming in and out right off of that side entrance. Is that Riverside going? What is the street going along the
So this is Grove on the bottom.
south side?
That's Grove. And then this is Slade that extends east down this way.
Over at the far?
And so down this way, this is Lincoln Avenue. So
That
this
was
would be a driveway for school buses. So they would enter here and proceed to exit on Lincoln Avenue. Obviously there is no exit to the west here. That's the river. So all traffic comes to Grove and then goes north-south.
So it would not go down to the river. And then I guess Lincoln, the name of that street, that is in pretty rough shape. Will the city be, to accommodate bus traffic and garbage trucks and things that will have to service that facility? Will there be improvements made to the street?
I don't believe we have any plans, and whatever improvements are needed will be done by the applicant, although nothing is anticipated at this point because the driveway is not further down on Lincoln. Their trash pickup is off of the north parking lot, so at this point, there's no anticipated improvements by the city.
Okay, so no improvements to the street and then no parking changes to the community, the residents that are already there, right?
Correct,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I have no questions.
Okay.
I think it is time to invite the applicant up to give us your thoughts.
Hi, I'm Brian Lindholm, Brian Lindholm, representing the school district. So thank you, Demir, and thank you to the commission for considering our development application this evening. We view the construction of this new elementary school as a generational investment in both the children of Elgin and School District U46, but also the surrounding neighborhood. McKinley Elementary is one of 4 elementary schools in U46 that actually date back to the late 1800s. It served us very well, but it is no longer meeting the modern standards for accessibility, safety, instructional programming, or site functionality. So part of our promise through the Unite U46 initiative is that when we decide to close a school, which we've decided for McKinley, the students will be reassigned to a more modern school that is within a reasonable distance. So we looked at several options for renovating McKinley, including tearing it down and rebuilding a new school at the same location. But we found it was impractical due to site constraints that will not accommodate modern safety, circulation, or accessibility requirements. Rather than reassigning students from the McKinley attendance area to other neighboring schools, which is what we've done in other parts of the district, we worked hard to identify a site within walking distance of McKinley to build a new school while preserving neighborhood continuity and providing an equitable, future-ready learning environment. We've held a few community meetings with the Northeast Neighborhood Association of Elgin and have heard their questions and concerns surrounding our plans. Throughout the planning process, we focused on protecting the quality of life for the neighboring residents, ensuring student and pedestrian safety, and respecting the environment. We know that traffic operations and the preservation of the mature oak trees were specifically identified as concerns by residents. I can assure you we've taken those concerns to heart and addressed them by commissioning professional traffic engineering and arborist studies that you will see reflected in the plans that we've submitted. We accept that there is a careful balance between preserving what the community values while also investing responsibly for the future. We feel this project will transform a vacant industrial site into a beautifully landscaped campus with a modern U46 elementary school that will strengthen neighborhood stability and serve as a point of pride for many generations. U46 has not built a new elementary school in this part of our district for decades, so we view this as an investment in helping to build a better Elgin. And that concludes my statement. Are there any questions we can answer at this time?
Are we ready for questions, or any other applicants want to say anything at this time? Okay, let's go to questions. I'll start with Commissioner Jones.
So the tree, so just to clarify, I read that in the pack that you've had community meetings with Nina, the neighborhood, and they're in support of the proposal?
I think conditionally in support of the proposal. As I mentioned, they had concerns specifically around traffic flow around the site, which we've tried to address in our plans. And then they have asked about preserving the trees, which right now are in our plans to preserve those 3 mature oak trees.
The ones that the pitchforks came out several years ago, are those the 3 largest trees in the front of the property?
Exactly, yep, on the north end.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and then I just struggle with the schools, with elementary schools. I love it in the neighborhood, and I also sympathize for the neighbors because it's difficult when the parents, and it's not the kids, it's not the schools, it's the parents and the drop-offs and the pickups. And so I just worry about the impact on those surrounding homes right there. Is there any possibility to have school crossing or some kind of patrol to make sure? Because what I have seen is they block the driveways and they leave their cars to go take precious Joey into school. They park illegally. Is there anything that you guys can do to help alleviate that, that impact on the neighborhood?
I think the biggest thing we can do, especially when we open this new school or at the beginning of every school year, is to have more staff on site to basically help direct parents to where they can and cannot queue up to pick up or drop off their children.
Okay, yeah. That's a tough one, but it looks like a great, exciting project. It's nice to see U46 investing in the community, so thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Gaska.
I have no questions.
Okay, Commissioner Rubel.
Hi. I have a couple questions. So originally the plan was to tear down the old school and rebuild a new one, right? Is that correct? On the same property?
We initially looked at that, and I think fairly quickly ruled it out as the location just simply was not large enough. It's about 2 acres, and as you'll see here, we have almost 10 on this side.
Yeah, I did look at that. It looks nice, the plan. I was just asking because I think that wasn't that on the referendum for, or I don't remember, so, well, maybe don't quote me on that. Let's just jump into the trees. So I read there's 541 trees on the property, and how many will you end up with?
Please state your name for the
Leo
record.
Moran, Gaywald Hamilton Associates. We did commission a tree study by Davy Tree.
Mm-hmm.
They're not here representing their tree impact study. There's a significant amount of trees along the west side or the top of this plan beyond the retaining wall that's still the school district's property. So the majority of those trees are in that embankment area before you get to the trail. We are saving 3 trees, though, on the
Yes.
front of the site.
Okay, so a lot of those trees then are not going to be impacted at all? Is that what you're telling me?
The trees that are on the west side of the property, we're impacting a small amount of those trees.
Okay.
Our goal is to not impact any trees on that slope because we do not want to undermine that slope stability.
Erosion?
Exactly.
Okay, all right. And then I did read somewhere about the speeding, and then some talk about signage and education. Can someone speak to that more?
Hi,
Hi.
Lynn Means with BLA. Yes, as part of our study and working with the neighborhood group, it had brought to our attention that there was some concerns from the neighborhood regarding existing travel speeds along Grove and along River Bluff as well, which Grove becomes River Bluff to the
Right.
north of Slade. And as part of our study, we reviewed historical speed data and it found that the average speeds along Grove were consistent with the posted speed limits. However, the 85th percentile speeds, which that's at speeds at which 85% of your public are traveling at or below, were slightly elevated. So they were at, I believe, 33.3 miles per hour, I believe. And typically, once you get above 8 miles per hour over the posted speed limit, you typically look to install some type of traffic calming measures.
Right.
Just by nature of this development, that will help to calm some traffic by bringing some activity. We are proposing some safety and for vehicle and pedestrian improvements as described by the city staff, the marked crosswalks, but also always stop control at the Lincoln and Grove as well as at the Slade, that south where the new driveway aligns, always stop control there. So we believe just by in itself that will help to naturally calm traffic in addition to your typical school zone posted speed limits. However, with anything, it's important to have that education as, they had mentioned, early on with the start of the school year, having, plans implemented where these are, recommended procedures for drop-off, pickup, education indicating, speeding and such. Typically, sometimes we find that speeding is often existing residents in that area, but it's never enough to keep to giving opportunities to remind on the dangers of speeding. So those types of educational measures are recommended. But also too, with the city, we could also work with possibly working with the police department, which having enforcement. You could come out and do those spot enforcement checks if speeding was to be a concern. And there's also too, like variable, you can do like the speed feedback signs where you could do temporary and or permanent ones too. We found those to be relatively effective as well.
Okay, I mean, it is going to be zoned school, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that helps to answer.
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering how that was going to, if that was
Yeah.
with the signs and stuff. Okay, that answers that question. And then I just wanted to go back to the trees again. Sorry. So there was a letter from someone about some trees on Lincoln. So will there be, so Will there be trees in that corner? I mean, besides the two big ones, is that what I'm seeing?
So as part of the city's rules, we have to install parkway trees.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's another plan that showed those trees. Yeah, so.
Oh, the
So
parkway,
if you can
yes.
see those dots with the circle around them,
Mm-hmm.
most of those are all brand-new trees that are going to be installed as part of this project.
Okay,
And you can see on Lincoln and then on Slade, as well as, I think Demir mentioned that we're going to infill some of those locations on Grove that don't have trees.
okay, great. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Olson.
All right, I got some questions for you guys and comments. Number one, thank you for this big presentation. I went to McKinley and grew up in this neighborhood, so it's very near and dear to me. First question is, what's the plan for McKinley? I'm guessing demolition and vacant land, but I don't know if you guys have gotten that far yet.
We haven't.
Okay.
I would say the near-term plans for McKinley, I mean, we would need to operate it for 2 more years while this school is being constructed. But then there would be no immediate plans to demolish the building. I think we would like to work with other local organizations about potentially adaptive reuse. Until then, we would continue to maintain it. We would keep the playground open to the community. So no immediate plans to demolish.
Okay, and then I remember this coming up a while ago when this whole idea of building a school there came up with the Riverside Club right there on Lincoln Avenue. Is there any restrictions with that being a business there with the school district?
I would defer to Mark and Mayor, but when we looked into it, there was not, correct?
Not to our knowledge.
Great, okay. That main driveway for the buses that pull in, is that lined up with Esmeralda Place there on the other side of Grove Avenue? Do you guys, is it not?
It's not exactly lined up, no.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then you guys mentioned installing solar panels in the future. Is there a timeline for that after the school's opened, or is it just kind of a future prepare for it kind of a plan?
We are designing it such that they could be added at a point in the future. In all transparency, we're kind of managing the budget on this project right now, so that's one of the things that we want to make sure that if we do decide to pursue that we would be able to do that. But if the budget doesn't allow it, it'd be something that we could look to do later.
Okay, and then I know you mentioned beyond that retaining wall is still your property and that there will be some trees maintained there, but do you know what the distance is between those retaining walls and, say, the bike path that's there, roughly?
I'd have to guess. I'd have to measure it off. I can
Yeah,
get you
of
that
course.
information if you'd like. My guess is it's at least 20, 25 feet, if not more.
Okay. Okay, I don't think I have any other questions. Great job. We didn't get a lot of negative feedback from the community at this, which tells me that you guys did your jobs well on the planning. So thank you, and looking forward to it.
Any other questions or comments from my commissioners? Okay, thank you for the presentation. You guys can have a seat and we'll open up to public comment. There's no one signed up, but if anybody would like to give any kind of comment on this petition, now is the time. Please come on.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mike Hook. Last name is C-O-O-K.
And you've already been sworn in?
Pardon me?
Have you been sworn in?
No.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have really no concerns or anything. Looking at I would like a packet or a schematic that you have here so I can share it with the rest of the officers and members of the club, if it's possible. I'd like to have that. My question is, does that S mean it's a 4-way stop at the intersection? Oh, good. That's my question. Into the city, we use the back way to leave sometimes instead of coming down to Grove. Is there any plans in the future to take Lincoln all the way down and do some repairs on the road? Because it's in very rough shape.
Not to our immediate knowledge, but we can reach out to Public Services and find out that information for you.
Okay.
Before you leave, we'll give you Mr. Latinovich's business card, and you guys can have further conversations.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody here have a question for me? representing the Riverside?
You need to have your comments are directed to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Do you have any questions for us?
We can definitely let you know if we have questions. Anybody from the commissioners have any questions? Okay, please, Commissioner Jones.
Yeah, you guys are going to be the most impacted probably on that stretch. Do you have plans? Because we're also, and I am familiar with the Riverside Club, but not. Do you guys have plans to block off your parking lots, your anything like that in preparation for the school to be there?
No, we're just going to wait and see, you know. We don't mind the school going in as long as, I mean, we're good neighbors.
Yeah, I know that.
We don't have very many complaints.
Yeah.
I've been a member since 1995. I've been an officer in the club for probably 20 years.
It's a great little place. You guys have a great lot there, great property. But Lincoln Avenue is, I attend a few events at the Riverside Club, and Lincoln Avenue gets parked on both sides, up and down. All the parking lots are filled with several events. And Lincoln is, I mean, that street needs to be looked at. You could fall off the side of it when you're parking your car on the curb. I don't even think there's curbs left on that street. Is there any curbs?
The only curbs are right here to right there.
Yeah.
And this right here.
We'll need the comments up here just for the audiovisual sake.
Okay. Over there where the three houses are from the corner, there's cars parked there, probably a dozen cars every night. So.
I guess my concern is more about the street condition heading into it when you're getting bus service coming down that street that's not in a condition right now to really support cars. So thank you for your comments. And that's back to staff, I guess.
All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Please, come on up. Have you been sworn in, sir? Okay.
Before we do that, is there anybody else who anticipates speaking tonight? If so, we could do this all in one last fell swoop. No? Okay.
You scared him.
Good try.
I tried.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Commission, for your time this evening. And I regret if there's been other forums to give this kind of feedback.
I'm sorry, can you state your name?
Oh, sure. Travis Linville. It's Linville. If there's been other forums for this and I've missed them, well, then I've missed them. I would have liked to have been there. I'm in that neighborhood. I'm on the southwest corner of Brook and Slade. And as many of you may know, it's a lovely, quiet neighborhood. It's the neighborhood where we shovel each other's sidewalks and know each other's dogs' names. I've been there over 16 years now. But I'm also in a prime spot to be affected by this, and I really respect and appreciate all the work that's gone into kind of doing the traffic studies and looking into that. Some of the aspects, the margin, so let's say a 69 number to cover a 66 capacity seems like a small margin to me that I'm wondering if it is future-proofed. The same would go for maybe not soon, but inevitable expansions for which more parking might be necessitated in the future and how that will impact the neighborhood. You know, I'm a teacher myself, and so I'm very much in support of school initiatives. It sounds like a wonderful project, but as a neighbor and someone who lives a block away, I am quite concerned about, you know, I don't know what the traffic study says specifically, but I don't know if I'm being too modest, but like a tenfold increase in the traffic that goes past my property. You know, my car has been hit in the past and significantly damaged. There's been theft. I don't have off-street parking on that southwest corner, And so I know everybody loves a good queue, but I'm thinking of those parents who don't want to be even in the most efficient sort of system that the school provides. And the first place they're going to go to is the curb where I've been parking for 16 and a half years. And, you know, that's a pretty significant impact on me, both in terms of safety, just easy access to parking when I'm leaving for work or coming home from work. I don't know how many other neighbors are going to be affected in this similar fashion, or what provisions or possibilities there are for assistance to create off-street parking for me on my property. I know being in a historic district, that has other concerns as well, but those are the things that I'm certainly concerned about, having been in this location for a long time. I just want to thank the commission for their time, but being in that location just a block away, many of the things that are going to be implemented, I think they're great, but I don't think they're going to come close to mitigating the day-to-day significant impact that this has on me and my ability to come and go or feel that my vehicle is safe in that location. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else in the public that would like to make any comments? Okay, we're going to close public comment then and pass it back over to staff for some final notes.
Nothing further to add unless there's questions for staff. We have provided our overview of the applicable zoning standards in the packet, and we stand by our recommendation for approval, subject to those conditions.
Thank you. In that case, I will entertain a motion on this petition. Petition 32-25.
I move to recommend that City Council approve petition 32-25, subject to the conditions outlined within our packet, and to adopt as the findings of the commission those findings also provided within our packet.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Staff, please call the roll.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Gaska?
Yes.
Commissioner Vrubel?
Yes.
And Chair Pro Tem Abwali?
Yes.
The motion is approved, 5-0.
Thank you. That will be our recommendation to City Council. Thank you guys for coming. And we are moving on now to a text amendment, petition 01-26. Staff, please take it away.
1 second, please. Make some quick adjustments. All right.
Just as a quick side note, all of our packets are available online so that you could see the paperwork that you wanted to see as well.
Staff has prepared and is recommending approval of one amendment to the text of the zoning ordinance tonight that would allow property owners in the NB neighborhood business and the CF community facility zoning districts to put a mural on their building. Murals are currently only allowed in the CC1 and CC2 Center City districts and the AB area business district. This zoning map shows the city divided into its zoning districts. The CC1 and CC2 districts are generally in the downtown. I think Demir had turned on the, oops, let me turn on the laser pointer. There we go. It shows up here in the middle. And the AB districts are generally along our busy arterial streets. The NB districts, those that are in the light pink and admittedly somewhat infrequent on this map, are generally applied along the edges of neighborhoods and commercial streets like Dundee Avenue here and Liberty Street. Along Villa, there are some pockets over here. Larkin Avenue, there are a couple of stretches on Larkin up in here. And then on McLean as you go down towards Elgin Community College. They're also found around intersections by established neighborhoods like at National Street or Walnut Street and State Street, among some others. The purpose of NB zoning districts is to provide for commercial areas that supply daily convenience commodities and services to their neighborhood populations. The CF zoning districts, on the other hand, those are in the green and appear to be much more substantial in nature on our maps. Typically include governmental buildings, parks and recreational facilities, schools and religious institutions. But when you start backing out the amount of green on the map that is owned by local governments or taxing districts, it's not quite as numerous. For example, and I'm starting here in the lower right, this is the Bluff City Cemetery and the Bluff Spring Fen Nature Preserve. This is the Elgin Sports Complex, the Highlands Golf Course, and the State Mental Health Property. Continuing west, this is Elgin Community College. Further west to the far west area residential neighborhoods, these are city neighborhood parks or Kane County open space within residential neighborhoods. This is the Hawthorne Hills Nature Center. This is Larkin High School here. You've got Eagles and Burn Ridge Park. You've got Wing Park. You've got Judson University. Cobbler's Crossing Lake here. Oh, sorry, missed Trout Park. Trout Park here. Sorry, Trout Park. Cobbler's Crossing here, down to Lord's Park, and then Elgin High. And then other big holdings that are not local governments, but certainly large public institutions. You've got St. Joseph High School on the near west side, Harvest Bible and Westminster Presbyterian off of Randall Road there, and then at the top left, that big campus there is Advocate Sherman Hospital. No other changes are proposed to the mural regulations. As we have, when we last considered this in December, buildings can have only one mural. Murals cannot cover major architectural features, and murals cannot include more than 3% text. Again, we most recently amended the mural regulations in December, adding the AB Area Business District as a zoning district in which murals are allowed. Ecker Center on Larkin Avenue had expressed interest in putting a mural on the front of their building, and they're hoping to do so still this spring. During the presentation of that text amendment to City Council, Councilmember Rose Martinez let me know that American Legion Post 57 at 820 North Liberty Street, the image here on your left, has long wanted to put a mural on the Chester Avenue side of their building facing the property that was formerly occupied by Simpson Electric. And the American Legion is zoned NB. Also, since that presentation, it was discovered that a graphic on the Wildwood Commons building, the new Wildwood Commons building, for the Association for Individual Development, more commonly known as AID, their campus on State Street was painted directly on the building when it was intended to be painted onto panels, which would then be attached to the exterior wall of the building. This distinction, while not readily apparent to most passers-by, changes the zoning classification of that graphic from a wall graphic that was approved in their plan development to a mural, which is not currently allowed in the CF district, and this amendment would bring the Wildwood Commons graphic into compliance. Both Councilmember Martinez and the Executive Director for AID, Lori Baker, are here tonight. Staff recommends approval of the amendment and offers for your consideration that the amendment advances certain purposes and intents of the zoning ordinance and goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan that have been provided in your packet. I'd be happy to try and answer any questions that you have.
Okay, Commissioner Vrubel, do you have any questions for staff?
Yeah, I just have one little question. So I'm reading here, so this is coming about because of, what is it, the building at Spring wants to do a 70-year celebration mural?
No, that was what was before you in December. That was for Larkin Center to
Okay.
add AB Area Business District, and so that one already has been through City Council in the past.
Okay, all right. So then they would be allowed to put these on the wall, just paint them? They wouldn't have to have...
They would still need to get a permit, but they would be allowed to petition and request that permit from the city.
Okay, all right, no questions.
Okay.
Commissioner Jones?
Just out of curiosity, how did you discover that the mural over there was painted on the building and not on panels?
Came in on a complaint.
Oh, it came in on a complaint. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Olson
No questions, thank you.
and Commissioner Gasca.
No questions.
I do not have any questions for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to open up to public comment. We are getting the sign-up sheet if anybody signed up. Okay, is there anybody who would like to? Nobody signed up, but if anybody would like to come up and give us your thoughts on this matter, we would love to hear them. I think we do have a volunteer. Come on up. Please.
Hello, I'm Lori Baker, B-A-K-E-R. I'm President and CEO of the Association for Individual Development, who somehow, during our building process, inadvertently put the mural on the wall of the one building. The other building is correct and is on a board, so we appreciate the city coming to us after an inspection, realizing that it was on the building and offering this fix for that, and ask that you would approve the zoning variance for CF community facility districts. Thanks.
Thank you for your comments. All right, anyone else? Well, then, let us move on. Do we have any further comments from staff before we move for approval?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve. (01-26) is what we're looking for approval on.
I move to recommend the city council approve text amendment petition number 01-26, subject to conditions outlined within the staff report, and to adopt as the findings of the commission the documents and conditions provided within such staff report.
Second.
Staff, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes, and I actually love the murals on the AID building. Just for the record, I want to say that I love them.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Gasca?
Yes.
Commissioner Rubel?
Yes, and I ditto what Commissioner Jones said. Pretty, very pretty.
And Chair Pro Tem Abwali?
Yes.
The motion is approved, 5-0.
Okay, thank you. That will be our recommendation. Thank you for the presentation tonight. So we will move on now to any other business. Is there anyone on the commission that has any other business to discuss? Commissioner Jones.
I'm so sorry. I just want to make an observation that in the course of my doing business with what I do for a living, I come in contact with many business owners, members of the community, different various communities, different things. And so oftentimes, and again this week, I have heard, and I was really sad to hear it, complaints about dealing with the community development department and getting things processed for businesses and not having a clear process and not having, not feeling like they're being informed and educated and knowing, you know, how this process works to do business in Elgin. And it was really, really disappointing to me because they have left Elgin now and gone to another community after, you know. And so I guess I just, I know the processes are in place for a reason, and I know that the staff does an excellent job in community development and getting these proposals and the work that you do into putting into all this. Why is there such a disconnect? Because I hear this very regularly, that the city is very difficult. So what is the disconnect between the community and our department that this conversation is repeated so often? I know. It makes me want to cry.
Well, it's a broad statement. I mean, you can have people express their displeasure for a variety of different reasons. They were told that they couldn't do what they wanted to do, which our folks are trained to say yes, but, and offer alternatives. It could be a myriad of, it could be that, that the matter was brought to their attention because of code enforcement, and they have to do something. So without any specificity, it's difficult for me to say what is the unilateral disconnect. I can tell you that just this fall, we have hired a new position, a business development coordinator, and her sole responsibility is to be the one point of contact initially with downtown business owners.
This is not a downtown issue. This is an Elgin issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that more often than not, when I do hear those complaints and have the opportunity to investigate them one-on-one and get to the details, more often than not, it's those persons in the downtown. And it tends to be, and this is not, and again, I'm gonna counter your sweeping generalization with a sweeping generalization of my own, right? Is that those persons who look to open a business in downtown may not have the same level of experience who's someone who's looking at a tenant space or building a brand new building on, say, Randall Road. And so the entire concept to them is new. And let's be honest, can be, depending on the scope of what they want to do, overwhelming. And so in an effort to try and begin to counter that narrative, we've brought this person on and are trying to get her up to speed to be able to address where I have at least heard those types of concerns expressed in the downtown. Once she gets more comfortable, we'll certainly expand her out and make her available to other businesses so that, at least from their perspective, it will be the proverbial duck on the water, right? They'll see smooth sailing, and if there happens to be any mad paddling, we'll do that under the water where no one sees it.
And if I may add to that, if, next time that happens, if it sounds like it happens fairly frequently, I would encourage you to bring it up to our attention. You have our contact information, and I would welcome, extend the invite to you, Commissioner Jones, we often have meetings with these individuals at the City Hall, and anybody's welcome. You can attend, you can see how we tend to these, how we talk to the business people.
Right.
So,
like I said, Demir, I appreciate that very much, and
we would be more than
hold
happy
you
to
in the
accommodate
highest
that.
regard, and
Yeah.
you know that. And this is not a downtown business, but but for me to hear that repeatedly, and I'm dealing with contractors who have had to come get permits. I'm dealing with homeowners. I'm dealing with business owners. That have to come in here and interact with the city at that counter, and I don't hear good things, and I'm surprised by it, because when I reach out to you or I have questions, I have such great feedback and such great information and such great educational opportunities.
Well,
And so
it is easier to deal with specificity. So if you do get those, or if you do get a person, please encourage them to reach out to either Demir or to me, and we will talk with them.
Yeah.
And reassure them there's no reservations about ramifications, because all
But that is the
feedback is
biggest
good.
concern, is what will happen then? What if I say I'm not happy with the city?
Nothing will happen with them. If there is something that, look, I've been here 15 years, and I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm not going to say that I may or may not have a blind spot. And if there's something that we're missing or we can do better, by all means, we need to know that.
How about like when I call into 311 or police non-emergency, I get an automated text within 30 minutes or 24 hours. Did we resolve your issue? Did we address the problems? So the city has the technology in place. And when I call non-emergency about stuff, they ask me first thing, what's your cell phone number? What's the number we can contact you at? That's how it's put in. And I get a survey within 24 hours. I think that would be a really important process, really great feedback and great way to develop the department and connect it so that the community is dealing with you the way that everybody should be dealing with.
I don't disagree, and we've looked into some of those technology issues and are working through some of the things that don't make it quite as easy for some of the other departments.
Yeah, I would love to see that. So thank you. That's my comment.
My only comment is you can't please everybody all of the time. And I've been in Elgin for over 20 years and have had businesses, and I haven't had these issues come up. So there are, obviously, everybody could use improvement, but there's good and bad in everything. So any other information, any other business that anybody wants to discuss? Okay, we will close the portion for other business. And at this point, anybody left in the public that would like to say anything about anything other than the petitions we covered? Okay. So, Demir, if you want to go over summary of pending development applications?
Yeah, I will provide an update on that application for the temple on the east side at 890 Gulf Boulevard. That application was approved by the city council, under consideration. So their next step is to petition the Circuit Court of the Cook County to amend that, the judgment. And if that is successful, then they will proceed with the final meeting of the city council. But there's no timeline for that. It depends on the kind of the procedure of the court. Other than that, we've had some movement on the Waterford subdivision. That is, the final two neighborhoods, that subdivision, are the developers looking to kind of get final approvals on those. We have had a new building, I think it's been on here, but I don't think I've mentioned that, at 990 St. Charles Street. That southeast part of the town does not see new buildings very often, so this, albeit small building, is proposed by a contractor, so it's going to be a little warehouse. It should be fairly nice and an improvement along St. Charles Street. And Quick Trip is active in the community. They are under construction of that new facility on Randall Road and Elf Lane, and they are in works on two other locations. One is at 505 South McLean, that's southeast corner of McLean and Fleetwood, and they're also working on another one on Randall. And I think that's probably about it in terms of updates, unless there's any specific questions on any of those.
Do we have any questions about any upcoming? I know you answered this question a couple months ago, but there's nothing new on the Liberty
The
gas station?
No,
Yeah.
have not, no.
Okay.
And in fact, I reached out after the meeting for another update. They're kind of the same answer. They're trying to get bids that fall within the budget. So,
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
The 990 St. Charles, is that that plumbing company?
just to the north of there, they've acquired a property to build another small light industrial building.
Is it the same company, though?
It is, although they're not going to use it for the same business operation, but I think they're venturing into different businesses, so they're going to
okay.
use this other building for a different business.
Because I was looking over there. They could use like a whole lot of, to put all that stuff under some kind of structure, because it's pretty, just kind of laying out there in the yard. Talk to them, tell them to build some more.
We certainly will try.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? In that case, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Staff, please call the roll.
Commissioner Olson?
Yes.
Commissioner Rubel?
Yes.
Commissioner Gaska?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
And Chair Pro Tem Abwali.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you all for your hard work and dedication.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a
you
good
for
night.
leading the meeting.